have you start by getting comfortable in your seat. Readjusting your shoulders, maybe rolling them back a bit, letting the chest open and the shoulder blades draw together. See where your head's at. It can be perfectly balanced on your neck. Check in with the jaw, the forehead, the eyebrows, the space between, the hands, the feet, arms and legs. Just take a little check-in with everything and get as comfortable as you can, and then maybe just a bit more. Hello. Welcome to your somatic measuring session. Now, somatic means relating to the body. So, for example, in somatic psychology, it is a branch of psychology that relates to the body, that is body focused. And one might think that somaticism and measuring don't necessarily go together, but in fact, they work quite well together. See, what our aim is to ground you into your body, into the current place, into the present. So when we add in measuring, we have something that is periodically touching different parts of your body, drawing you back in to your senses, to your sense of touch, and bringing you back in to the moment. So from time to time, we'll just check in, do a little grounding, and then the rest of the time, we'll do our measuring. So first, I just want you to have a little look around the room. And we're going to bring your attention to your senses. Ground you nice and deep before we get into the measuring. That we have a good, strong foundation to start with. So we're going to look around the room and just let your eyes drift over different objects, noting the colors, shapes, textures. Just looking around, and then I want you to focus on what you hear. What is the farthest sound that you can hear? The farthest thing away in your environment. And then what's the closest? The closest sound in your environment. What is the loudest sound in your environment? Might be traffic, might be construction, my voice. And then what's the quietest? What is the quietest sound you hear? Right. And what do you feel on your skin? It might be the touch of wind. It might be a bit of heat, perhaps cold. Your clothing, your limbs against your body maybe. And then finally, the last two senses. What can you smell? What can you smell in your environment? And are there any lingering tastes on your tongue at all? What can you taste? And with that, we are going to start with your head circumference. I have 2 measuring tapes. I'll be using this one for wrapping around, for example, the head, the neck, the arm, whereas for lengths, I'll be using this one, this metal miniature measuring tape. From this point forward, I will need to be touching you. Is that okay with you? Wonderful. So, head circumference. Just going to let out the slack. Come around here. And just see. Meet right here. There. Is this comfortable? Good. Let me know if at any point it is not. Good. Wrap that up a bit just to keep it tidy. So I will be writing down your measurements from time to time. We have the length of the face, so I'm just going to come right close here. We'll start right there and come down. Plug that in. Good. Good. And then we'll do a few widths. We have the width of the face at the forehead. Good. And while I'm doing this, would you mind just taking a deep breath in for me? Just one. Deep breath in. And out. At the jaw. We just want to keep you in this moment. And layer in the slight touch of my fingers, the cool metal of the measuring tape. I'm going to take some measurements from the chin to the chest. I'm going to have you, as best as you can, just stay nice and straight. Not to the point where it feels rigid or painful, but just comfortably sitting straight. And if I could have you just stay still here. We are going to go from the chin to the clavicle, right by the hollow of the throat here. And then come down to the top of the sternum, known as the manubrium. Good. You to just check in with the neck and sense if there are any particular tense areas or if the muscles are loose. You might move the head around a bit, loosen everything up. The sternum, excellent, and we're going to switch to our fabric measuring tape here. This can be a touch uncomfortable for people. I'm not going to be holding this tight against the neck, but I will be just putting my finger underneath the tape. And I'll be quite quick about it. Quite quick. We are going to bring that around. Lots of slack here. Put my finger underneath the tape, and then we will measure that. There we go. And take it away. Very quick. And was that uncomfortable? Good, good. I could just have you take a deep breath in and out. Nice and long exhale. Sternum and the neck circumference. Now I'm going to be coming behind you a bit. We are going to measure from the base of your neck to the top of your shirt here. I'm going to just give myself some slack and then come behind here. Good. That one can be a bit tricky. And we are going to come here at the clavicle and measure the length of the torso. Down here. Good. couple of things. Things that your eyes find interesting. The color, texture, and shape. Remind yourself where you're at in the space. We will be getting into the shoulders and the arms. So some of these measurements we are going to be doing on one side and then the other. The body is rarely perfectly symmetrical. So there are these little minute differences in our measurements. From the junction of the neck and the shoulder to the edge of the shoulder here, so this part right in here. Right in here. And to the shoulder. Lock that in. This side. And that is even right there. And then the whole width of the shoulders. There. That matches up. Good. Excellent. We have a few torso measurements before we come back to the arms. We are going to be using the fabric tape for this one. And while I'm doing this, I want you to focus on the sounds in your environment. So I'm going to have you lift up your arms for me so that I can get the chest circumference. Good. So I'm going to come around here. There. So what is it that is easily pronounced in your environment, sound-wise? Easiest sound to hear. Good. And what about the little underlying sounds? The very soft, quiet sounds. And I'm going to come around the natural waist here. There. And what are the farthest farthest sounds you can hear. Distance is not the same as volume. Sometimes the farthest sounds are the loudest, the closest are the softest. What is the farthest sound you can hear? I'm just going to bring this down. We can do the hip width. And what about the closest? Can you focus on the closest sounds? Maybe the rustle of the measuring tape. Maybe the breeze. Maybe your own breathing. Put the tape back. Just wind this up. Be quite quick about it, quite expedient. We have quite a few other measurements to get through. And what sort of smells can you sense? Are they different from before? Are they the same? Are they weaker? Stronger? Excellent. Now we come back to the arms. Quite a few lengths here. We are going to measure from your shoulder to the elbow, shoulder to the wrist, and shoulder to the ends of the fingers. We'll have double measurements for each. Shoulder, elbow, shoulder to wrist. If you could just straighten the arm for me. There we go. And fingertip. Good. The other side. And you could just straighten the arm. Just a touch shorter on this side. 1/4 of an inch, really. But that's what I mean about the body. Almost never having perfect symmetry. I dare say it's almost impossible, really. Very good. the elbow to the wrist here. Good. And then elbow to the fingertips. Wrist to the fingertips. Side. While I'm doing this, you want to focus on the touch of the tape to your arm. As I just place the little metal bracket here on the crook of the elbow. And bring the measuring tape along the length of the arm. And then further on the back of the hand all the way to the tip of the middle finger. And then bringing the bracket to crease of the wrist while the metal stays on the back of the hand. Good. And are there still any tastes on your tongue? Can you taste the air at all? Any of the elements of the air on your tongue? Sometimes a scent is so strong, like jasmine blossoms or citrus flowers or lawn tree, so much so that you can taste it, taste the smell of it. Some of those scents taste better than others, of course. Now it looks like we are going to be moving to the legs, hip to knee, and to ankle. Now, these leg lengths are going to be quite long here. We'll start at one hip and we'll go to the knee, to the ankle, and to the floor. Come to the knee here. The ankle. And to the floor. Other side. While I'm doing this, if you want to check in with your legs, feet and just scan down them. See if there are any places that unconsciously tensed up. Any places you could relax back into. Hip to knee. Hip to ankle. Hip to floor. Those are equal. So now we're going to be measuring from the waist. So we'll go waist to knee, to ankle, and to the floor. So right in here, right up here. Are you able to check in on your legs then? And did any of those places tense back up? I see. Yes, that's the funny thing about the body is when we're not looking, it likes to run amok. Sometimes it almost feels like you're parenting yourself. When you tell it to do one thing, and then when you're not looking, it'll go right back to doing it. That's why we have to keep an eye on it. Periodically check in. And out. Good. I'm just going to record that down. Circumferences with the legs. I'm going to get our fabric measuring tape with our little tassel that wants to escape. And we are going to do the calf, the thigh, and the ankle. I'm going to slip this underneath your thigh here. We'll do one leg and the other. Good. Good. And then slide that down. And the ankle. Good. I'm just going to take this back for a moment. measurements floating about in here. Otherwise I'll forget. As I'm doing the other side here, I just want you to check back in with your shoulders, your arms, neck, face, and head to see if there's any area that tightened back up. Like with the legs and feet. Thigh, come down to the knee. Just take a moment to see if you can relax anything a little further. Good. And ankle. Make this a little easier to handle here. Good. Did you notice if there were any spots that tightened up again? Mm-hmm. That's why I just want to remind you once in a while. Good. Now I have some rather long lengths. I think I might use the fabric tape. We'll just have to see how it shakes out. But I would like to do some measurements with your head as the starting point. Let's just start with this. Bracket comes right here. Good. I'm just measuring right there, and then come a little bit further to the waist, and then to the hip. Good. Quite a bit. Deep there. I might be able to use the old thing. Good. And to the knees, ankle. No, I think I'm going to use this one for that. It's a little more forgiving. So, just keep this right here. There we go. Keep that straight. Okay, so to the knee. Good. To the ankle. And to the floor. There we go. I almost ran out of tape for that. So, let me see. I'll have to wrap that back up in a moment. And it looks like the rest of my lengths and widths won't need that measuring tape. Okay, and then good. The other side. And I imagine this is going to be rather similar. Your legs were the same length. ankle and to the floor. They are indeed the same. Good. Now, let me take a moment here. Find the middle. And write this back. Now, while I'm doing this, let's do a final few deep breaths rather than just the one. So we're going to take a deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. There. And almost there. Less than a foot of tape to go. Good. Now I have just a few more. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they are all focused on the face to end it. Let's do the nose here. Good. And each of the eyes. There. Not coming so close that it feels like I might poke you. Just enough to get an accurate measurement. And 3 more. Good, and then each ear. There. Good. Good. Excellent. That will conclude our measurements, but just to tie everything together, we're going to do that sort of sensory exploration one last time. So if you just want to look around a bit and maybe picking out things you didn't see before, just doing a bit of a deeper dive and looking at things that hadn't caught your eye before. Good. And then listen to the environment, not just the sound, but the absence of sound. Between the sounds, what does the silence sound like? And then I could have you just feel the clothing on your skin. The feel of your own limbs touching your body, your hands, where your feet are resting, and then taking a good smell of the room. Just exploring what all of the layers smell like in that. And then any tastes on the tongue, if there are any tastes left. And if there isn't, what nothing tastes like. Just explore what that tastes like. And then we are going to end our somatic measuring session there. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me for this. I hope this was very relaxing and grounding. I hope you have a whale of a day and a good rest of your night. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, it would greatly help me out if you clicked the like button and left a comment so YouTube's algorithm registers that it was a good video. If you want to see more of my work, consider subscribing to the channel. I create primarily medical, pseudoscience / alternative